You don't have to apply pressure because the interest is natural. She wants to see you, you want to see her. So it's just a vibe. Like, you know what I'm saying? She's easier to talk to. She's more available for you. So there's not this thing of me having to kind of like jump through hoops. Maybe different women mean it in different ways that applying you have to apply a pressure to get my attention. And then once you finally break down those barriers or climb that mountain, now you finally got my attention. Now there's level two in the applying of the pressure. And I'm not
No.
fucking doing all that.
No.
I'm not the nigga to do all that. I'm not climbing the mountain just to be like, good, level one. Now climb this one too, like, just so I can take you on dates and spend money. And I gotta call you and check on you every day. Like, can I spend money on you now? Are you free for me to spend more money? Like, can I buy you gifts? Money. Like, you know, you want money? Like, oh, what the fuck? Like, nah, that ain't me. Nah.
Literally exactly what I was talking about. Nobody wants to.
That's literally what I was saying. That's exactly what it sounds like.
Nobody wants to have. If I got a requirement just to get to know you, that's annoying. That's not fun. That's not entertaining. That's not inviting. Like,
it's not sexy.
It's not sexy. You know what I mean? You just want to meet somebody, be able to casually talk, communicate, get to know each other more and more, and then decide, you know what? I really like this person. We have a lot of compatibility. Let's move this relationship forward. And that's when, and you'll know what the requirements are because you got to know each other. But if I got to meet boyfriend and husband requirements before I could even get to know you, then we won't even know if we really like each other. You might think you want a guy that's a certain type of way, and then meet me and realize that the way I am is actually what you want, and what you thought you wanted the whole time wasn't what you wanted. But we didn't make it to a second date because I made a statement and you judged me off it and was like, nah, you're not meeting my requirements. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of women who will judge a guy based off of what he's making, or where he takes her on the first date. Oh, we going to Applebee's? I'm good. Meanwhile, this guy could be a millionaire. He could be a millionaire, great husband, great communicator, all of those things, but you judging him based on you're not willing to get to know him. You got requirements. No, you got to take me XYZ and spend this much money on me just to have a conversation. Like, nah, it's kind of giving prostitution. Like, there's a lot in modern dating that's very prostitution adjacent, and I feel like that causes a lot of problems. It's like requirements. It's like, what do you think? Nobody owe you nothing to get to know you. Who do you think you are? And
did
honestly,
you say prostitution?
It parallels it. It gives that from a male perspective. It's like, who do you think you
are?
Okay.
I'm a firm believer that all relationships are transactional. I'm a firm believer in that. Be it a spouse, be it family, business, whatever. Just you being in a relationship with another person, it is transactional. Because if one person,
like
transaction only works when it's an equal balance. And if I'm trying to get to know you,
and there's a difference between
trying to get to know me. If I'm trying to get to know you and you're equally trying to get to know me, that's the transaction.
That's the transaction. I agree.
There should be no other investment that I have to make in order for us to have an equal transaction. It's the same with sex. If I'm trying to pleasure you and you're trying to pleasure me, nobody should be paying anybody. Right? That makes common sense. Why should someone else make an extra investment for us to pleasure one another? It doesn't make sense to me.
All right, let's make sure we get some of the other folks in there. Go ahead, Kelly. Let's check on Luis. I think it's taking in Hink too. I haven't said anything. And Rami.
So this kind of goes back to what Viz was saying when he asked how many, or like, what's your dating style, or like, how many conversations are you having before you decide to go out with a person? I think you should have plenty of conversations before you even decide to sit down and have a dinner or drinks or coffee with anyone. I think, after meeting someone one night and you're like, oh yeah, let's go out tomorrow. Of course you're going to have complication because you don't even understand if you like this person enough to even spend time with them. So I think people are jumping into things and not really taking their time to figure out if they want to make that investment that Essence Atkins was talking about. People are meeting people out one night, going out with them the next day. And that's why people are having so many problems. You have to talk to people. You have to get to learn their patterns and the things that they do on a regular basis to see if you even fit in their life. And I just think that there's a lack of it, in my opinion. I really do. People
It's
want
true.
everything. People are like into microwave relationships, getting into relationships with people in such a short amount of time and not getting to know the person.
Bare minimum. People getting in relationships with the bare minimum.
Right,
That's
because
all
this
I'm
That's
person
but
saying.
has
that's
a
you
nice
going to the
car
Hold
or
on,
movie
hold
a
on, y'all.
nice
theater.
Hold on.
house.
Let us finish. Let us finish. Let us finish. Let us finish.
Hello. Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, I think people just need to take time. That's all. Take time. I think that people are just doing too much too fast. I mean, you can get to know somebody pretty good if you just have conversations with them first. Like give them maybe a 30-day trial of just communicating. Then you can get all the other stuff out of the way. You'll understand after 1 or 2 days if you like the person or not. But if you're not even giving it a chance to text and see how they respond, talk once in the morning or anything, you just don't know. And now you're just basing things off of what they look like, what kind of car they have, what their house looks like, or how they present themselves on social media. So it's really important. And although Hink has a barbaric delivery, I think he's still correct on what he's saying. You have to get to know people because why even waste your time? You know, why? I mean, if I was a man, I wouldn't want to waste money on a woman either. I wouldn't. And just because I may have it doesn't mean that I want to do it. I mean, you have to know who you're dealing with though, but that's another story. So, I mean, we can continue. I don't have to keep going on and on. I just wanted to make that point. Dating styles are very important.
All right, let me go to Luis and let's go, Luis. Check in with Hink and Ramey. Then we'll go back down to Mistake.
Yeah, I'm not gonna belabor the point. I will highlight one thing based on what everybody has talked about so far, and also kind of responding back to the video real quick. I find that today, unfortunately, a lot of people just lack basic 101 communication style. Just like I just don't know what it is and how we got here. Like it is just the more I sit back and just listen and not even talk and engage, the more I just hear it through people how they speak, the things that they highlight, the things that they care about. It just never gets really portrayed because I sometimes joke around and say I'm curious to know what people are actually talking about, man. Because if it's rainbows and what's your favorite colors, like we're just wasting time here. I genuinely don't think that people are highlighting, asking people, and vetting them in the proper manner to kind of get to know them, you know. And I just think that just comes from a lack of knowing how to communicate just effectively, effectively communicating to people what you want, what you need, how you expect them to show up in your life, right? That's another thing. I ask people, like, what I'm saying, how do you show up for the ones that you love? And, how do you typically respond when someone can't do something for you, right? And sort of these things become the conversations of pivotal moments that we're talking about. Like, tell me about your upbringing. You know what I'm saying? How were you raised? What are your value systems of your family? You know what I'm saying? Do you still adhere to those? Like, what are you really looking for out of dating? Like, people are not really engaging and digging deep. So when we're talking about digging deep, we're talking about removing all the fluff off the table and really getting down to the meat and bones, because unfortunately a lot of people are just spinning the block, you know what I'm saying, making complaints about their baby mama and all these other things. And unfortunately, the biggest pivotal of where we are today is that people just don't know how to effectively communicate anymore. Are you?